Hey everyone, welcome back to Naomiko channel. Today is February 1st, 2026, and we've got a really packed AI news roundup for you, from Mars rovers literally being driven by AI, to Google shaking up the gaming industry, to new open source tools, privacy concerns, and even AI politics memes. Let's get into it. First up, space plus AI, my favorite combo. Article 1. NASA's Mars rover uses Anthropic Claude to plan routes. This news comes from Unwire HK and was released on January 31st, 2026. NASA's Perseverance Mars rover has officially become the first off-world robot to have its route planned by a large language model, Anthropic Claude AI. According to Unwire HK, in December 2025, Perseverance successfully completed a mission where Claude planned its driving route on Mars. This is the first time a large language model has been used to control a rover beyond Earth. The key point: using AI for route planning cut mission planning time by about half. Instead of human engineers painstakingly planning every move, Claude helps generate safe paths more quickly than humans verify and approve. It's still human in the loop, but the workload and turnaround time are dramatically reduced. Big picture: this is a glimpse of how embodied AI and language models will work together for real-world robotics, not just in factories or warehouses, but literally on other planets. And that leads perfectly into our next story, because world models and simulations are becoming a huge theme this week. Article 2. Google's Project Genie world model for text to 3D spaces. This news also comes from Unwire HK and was released on January 31st, 2026. Multiple outlets summarized by Unwire HK report that Google unveiled Project Genie on January 29th, 2026. Is described as a world model that can generate full 3D virtual environments from just text prompts. Think, you type a cyberpunk city at night with flying cars and a central marketplace, and Genie doesn't just make a static scene, it builds a navigable 3D world. According to Unwire HK, this announcement hit the gaming sector hard. Several game-related companies saw their stock prices drop sharply right after the reveal. Investors are clearly worried that if Google can auto-generate detailed interactive environment from text, a lot of traditional content creation pipelines could be disrupted. This connects with NASA's rover story. Both are about AI understanding and interacting with complex environments. One is a physical world on Mars. The other is fully virtual, but both rely on world models' internal representations of how environments work. And speaking of world models, there's a major open source move in that space too. Article 4. Robbyant open sources LingBot-World. This news comes from MarkTech-Post and was published on January 31st, 2026. Robbyant, the embodied AI unit inside Ant Group, has open-sourced something called LingBot-World. MarkTech-Post describes it as a large-scale world model that turns video generation into an interactive simulator. So instead of just generating a video clip, LingBot-World can render a controllable environment in real time. The goals are high visual fidelity, realistic physics and dynamics, long time horizons, and still being responsive enough for real-time interaction. Use cases mentioned by MarkTech-Post include embodied agents, autonomous driving simulations, and games. So you can see the parallel with Google's Project Genie. Both are about building rich, interactive worlds. The difference is that LingBot-World is open-sourced, which could accelerate research and let smaller teams experiment with these ideas without Google-scale budgets. If you connect the dots, NASA is using AI to navigate the real world on Mars, Google is building text to 3D worlds that may disrupt gaming. Ant Group's Robbyant is open sourcing a real-time world model. We're moving toward a future where AI doesn't just answer questions. It operates inside worlds, simulated or physical. Now, how do we actually train AI to understand multiple modalities, text, images, maybe video, in a unified way? That's where some cutting-edge research comes in. Article 3. Multimodal Learning with Next Token Prediction. This news comes via Hacker News, pointing to a paper in Nature, and the link was posted on January 31st, 2026. The article itself is in Nature, titled Multimodal Learning with Next Token Prediction for Large Multimodal Models. The Hacker News post, dated January 31st, links to it and notes. It's a big research piece. The core idea, instead of having separate architectures and training objectives for text, images, and other data types, you treat everything as a sequence of tokens and use next token prediction, the same basic mechanism used in large language models for multimodal learning. So images, video, frames, audio, and text are all represented as tokens in one unified sequence, and the model just learns what comes next across all of them. Why this matters? It simplifies the architecture. It scales really well with compute and data. And it's exactly the kind of thing you want for robotics and world models, where an AI has to fuse vision, language, and actions. So the research side is building the foundation that tools like Project Genie, LingBot-World, and even NASA's Rover AI can stand on. Now let's switch gears to media creation, because AI video just got another bump. Article 5. Kling Video 3. 15-second AI video generation. This news comes from a Show HM post on Hacker News and was published on January 31st, 2026. Kling just announced Video 3, and according to the Hacker News post, it's a significant upgrade over their previous 2.6 and 0.1 models. Key features from the post: extended duration, up to 15 seconds of continuous video versus the usual 5-10 seconds. Duration is flexible between 3 and 15 seconds. Unify the multimodal approach, text to video, image to video, reference to video, and even video modification are all handled in one model. Native audio generation. It can generate synchronized audio along with the video. Two variants, Video 3 and Video 3 Omni, each upgraded from earlier lines. The post also notes improved subject consistency, better adherence to prompts, and more control for storyboarding and shots. And they explicitly compare it to major competitors: Runway's Gen 4, 5, OpenAI's Sora 2, Google's Veil 3.1, and Grok Imagine. Previous Kling models were much cheaper than Runway in the $10 to $40 per month range, which, if they keep that pricing, could make longer-form AI video and audio accessible to a lot more creators. Tie this back to Project Genie and LingBot-World. We're seeing rapid convergence between AI video, interactive simulations, and world models. One camp is focused on rendered 3D worlds, another on realistic video, but both are giving creators and developers new ways to generate entire experiences from text. Now, let's talk about tools that help manage and constrain AI rather than just generate more with it. Article 6. Aegis, open source parental filter for AI. This news comes from another Hacker News Show HM post, dated January 31st, 2026. A developer built Aegis, described as open source filter controls for AI chatbots and image generators. The post explains that there are basically no parental controls for AI chatbots right now, so they built Aegis as a local proxy and Chrome extension. It filters conversations on major chatbots like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Copilot, and more. It also blocks NSFW images from tools like Grok, DALL-E, Midjourney, and Stable Diffusion. Technical details from the Hacker News summary. It's built in Rust, uses ON's runtime for on-device ML classification, uses Deoxys for the UI. Everything runs locally with no cloud processing and no data collection. It's MIT licensed and open source with the code on GitHub. In other words, it sits between the user and the AI service, scanning and filtering content locally. This is a big step for families, schools, or workplaces that want the power of AI without losing control over what content is shown. So while some companies are quietly harvesting more data, others are building tools to put control back in the user's hands. We'll come back to that contrast in a moment. Article 7, Afelyon AI agent that turns Jira tickets into GitHub PRs. This news also comes from a Show HN post on Hacker News, published January 31st, 2026. Afelyon is an open-source AI agent aimed at software teams. The creator says they built it to solve the bottleneck between ticket created and PR ready for review. According to the post, Afelyon can read your Jira or ClickUp ticket, clone your repository, understand your code base, including conventions and patterns, generate the code for the task, run tests, and then open a pull request automatically. It's not just a coding assistant at your cursor, it's a full pipeline agent. Under the hood, it uses TypeScript, Fastify, Next.js, Claude AI, PostgreSQL with PG Vector, BullMQ with Redis, and Docker. You can self-host it with a simple Docker Compose app. The creator emphasizes that it works from tickets, not just from local context, and that it learns from your merged PRs to adapt to your code style over time. If you think about this in a broader context, NASA is using AI to handle rover planning. Afelyon is using AI to handle the planning and execution phase of software tasks. Both reduce the human load on the tedious parts and free people up for higher-level decision-making. Now, on the flip side, as AI becomes more integrated into our workflows, we need to be very aware of how much it knows about us. Article 8. Kimi AI builds persistent user profiles. This comes from a TEL-HM post on Hacker News dated January 31st, 2026. A user describes their experience with Kimi AI, which recently offered a free tier and discounted the subscription. During a conversation, they checked the model's thinking process and discovered that Kimi had built a surprisingly detailed, persistent profile about them. According to the user's summary, Kimi's internal profile noted things like they are a senior developer, they use Rust and Unix, they run Arch Linux, they build security-focused tools, they do financial research on topics like JPY, CNH hedging, geopolitics, and energy markets. Their communication style is direct and blunt. They prefer open source, drop-in replacements, and structured outputs. The model was explicitly using this profile to decide how to tailor its responses, like I should speak to that level of experience rather than entry-level advice. The user's takeaway. Kimi is not just remembering the current session. It's creating ongoing, persistent profiles from your conversations. This raises serious questions about privacy, consent, and transparency. Who else can access that profile? How long is it stored? Can you delete it? Are you clearly told this is happening? Contrast that with Aegis, which runs locally and collects no data. We're seeing a split in the AI ecosystem. Some tools move toward deep personalization through data accumulation, while others move toward privacy and local control. Next, let's look at the cultural and political side of AI. Article 9. AI-generated schoolgirl meme used by far-right groups. This news comes from CNN, linked via Hacker News, and the CNN article was published on January 31st, 2026. CNN reports on an AI-generated character, a cute AI-generated schoolgirl named Amelia, who has become a growing far-right meme in the UK and beyond. The Hacker News link points to CNN's coverage, which explains how this AI-generated image has been weaponized as a symbol in far-right online communities. It's being used to spread messages and build identity around extremist ideas wrapped in an innocent anime-style aesthetic. This is a reminder that AI-generated content isn't neutral. Once tools like Kling Radio Sui or any image generator exist, they can be used for creativity, marketing, education, or for political manipulation and extremism. It also underlines why tools like Aegis and clear content policies matter, and why we need media literacy around AI. The line between just a meme and political propaganda is getting blurrier when the content is cheap and infinitely customizable. Finally, a quick but relevant consumer story. Article 10, 1 minute, AI all-in-one tool deal. This news comes from Mashable Tech News and was published on January 31st, 2026. Mashable reports that 1 minute AI, an all-in-one AI tool that unites multiple major AI models in one interface, has a limited time deal. They say you can get a lifetime subscription to the 1 minute AI Advanced Business Plan for $74.97, but only through tonight at 11:59 p.m. Pacific Time. The angle here is less about the specific discount and more about the trend, tools that aggregate multiple AI models into one dashboard. Instead of you jumping between ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, and others platforms like 1 minute AI try to give you one place to access them all. When you combine that with Afelyon for code, Aegis for filtering, and tools like Kling for media, you can see a new stack emerging. Aggregators to access many models, agents to automate workflows, filters to control what content is allowed. And behind all of that, world models and multimodal research powering increasingly capable systems. So to tie everything together, from NASA's Perseverance Rover using Anthropic's Claude to plan routes on Mars, reported by Unwire HK, to Google's Project Genie generating full 3D worlds from text and shaking up gaming stocks, also via Unwire How. We're watching AI step into the role of world builder and world navigator. MarkTech coverage of Robbyant's open-source LingBot-World shows that real-time interactive world models are not just proprietary tech, they're becoming part of the open ecosystem. The Nature paper highlighted on Hacker News shows how multimodal next token prediction gives us a unified way to train these systems across text, images, and more. Kling's video free, from the Hacker News announcement, pushes AI video toward longer, more narrative content with integrated audio. On the tooling side, Aegis and Afelyon, both from Hacker News show HM posts, demonstrate how open-source developers are building guardrails and automation layers, one to keep AI safe for families, the other to turn project tickets into working pull requests. The Tell HM post about Kimi AI's persistent profiles raises urgent questions about data consent and how much our AI tools are learning about us behind the scenes. CNN's reporting on the Amelia meme shows that AI-generated characters are becoming political symbols, another reminder that culture and politics are now intertwined with generative AI. And Mashable's piece on 1 minute. AI highlights how AI aggregation tools are becoming consumer products, bundling many models into one subscription. If you want to dive deeper into any of these stories, check out the original sources on Wire HK for the NASA and Google Project Genie pieces, Nature via the Hacker News link for the multimodal research, MarkTech Post for LingBot-World, Hacker News for Kling Video 3, Aegis, Afelyon, and the Kimi AI discussion, CNN for the Amelia meme coverage, and Mashable Tech News for the 1-minute AI deal. That's it for today's AI Roundup for February 1st, 2026. If you found this useful, hit subscribe so you don't miss our next breakdown of the latest AI developments. Thanks for watching our Michael channel, and I'll see you in the next one.